Hey y'all, you might be able to tell by the appearance of this video that this one's going to be a little unusual. Okay, we are preparing to move. And so I had to pack this entire room up yesterday so that Alex could take photos of the house so that we can put it up on the MLS. And my God, this room, this was the biggest challenge. It was such a job. And like pulling all my lights back down and everything, it was just going to double the work. And so today we get a little treat because it's sunny outside and there's not a cloud in the sky. So I'm only working with a ring light and natural light. And natural light is so lovely. I wish I could work with natural light all the time, but it's so unpredictable and it can make color grading really impossible. And since I focus so much on color on my channel, I always want to be as true as possible to those things, but I think we're going to be in good shape today because we don't have any clouds. So we're going to be trying new makeup today, and this is going to be, I have a glass of milk here. I'm eating breakfast. The other unusual things are going to be like, some of this stuff is a first impression. I never do that, but like I have not had the time to sit down and like play, right? We spent the entire weekend, and not like in any way that was, you know, negative, but I mean, we just had to plug away at everything that needed to be done to get this place the way that it needed to look. So it's now Monday, and I am going to film 2 videos today so that I can continue to have some content for y'all. I don't know, with all the like tours and everything like that, like people coming and actually touring the house, like when the next time I'm gonna be able to film is. So also follow me over on Substack. I'm quite active over there. We have a lovely little community that's started over there. And regardless of whether I'll be able to film, I'll definitely be in contact over there. And I think one more housekeeping thing. We are, and let me know y'all's thoughts on this. We are thinking, as far as the Kickstarter is concerned, since I can't just give a discount in exchange for your money, right? When people pledge, I can't just be like, well, you get your pledge amount back when the palette happens, because by Kickstarter's definition, it's possible that the palette never happens, you know, and then people don't get their money back and they didn't get anything. And they're like, you should give them like digital assets or something like that. I'm like, I don't want to give people a bunch of crap they don't want. But I thought about it and I was like, listen, even if you don't want to read my writing, you probably would benefit from having direct access to the chat with me to be able to like, you know, ask anything you want. And for the price of the palette, basically the price of the palette is going to be $60, I'm pretty sure. We're thinking, me and the, you know, like people that I'm talking to on the back end strategizing about this stuff, we're thinking like $25, which is less than half of the palette, gets you half off the palette when it comes out, but also 3 months as a paid subscriber of the Substack so that you can have access to like the subscriber chat. And don't worry, the people who are already subscribed, like paid subscribers to my Substack, I'll take care of y'all too. But I also want to do like a tier for people who like want to just donate, not buy the palette, and then maybe like something in between. Let me know what y'all think. We have to give something away with it. And I want y'all to feel like, I mean, obviously the palette is going to happen. Like I have so much of it in my hands. Like it's going to happen if it's the last thing I do. It has not been difficult. Like it's just been a really, really smooth process. I just need to gauge interest. I don't know whether to make 10,000 or 15,000 or 20,000. And that matters. You know what I mean? That matters. So that scale is going to like, I really need to like pin down the level of interest. And so that is really, you know, that, and obviously funding the project. It's just a matter of moving liquidity around. Anyway, all that said, let's chat about the things that we're going to be putting on my face today. How about that? So I don't have a new foundation product, but I do have new color correctors that we will be at least swatching. The colors concern me a little bit, but these are the new Refresh eye brighteners. They're an SPF 30 broad spectrum sunscreen from Nars. Very excited about these. I got Adore and Cherish, which I think are just the 2 lightest shades. And then I just got these in the mail today. This is the Skin Blur Serum Concealer, the new concealer from Ilia. They sent me these, I think. It's just, again, life has been a blur lately. I don't think I would have bought 3 colors for myself. So I think that they offered these in gifting. They came in the mail and I was like, I guess I picked these out at some point, but I'm really psyched about this. Y'all, I have so many lip products. I have no idea what is going to actually end up on my lips today. It's just one of those days where like I have so many things. First of all, I have 4 of the Nars. Oh God, it's hard to read. This room is darker. Afterglow lip balms that they sent me 3 of them. I bought 1 of them. So I have Crush, Hotline. I bought Hotline, Aragon, and Miseducation. I also bought the new blue one, which is called Midnight Swim. I also bought Hot Rush, which is this, I've just been really like trying to get my head around, like we're over here on beige blushes. I'm also over here on like desaturated plummy lipsticks. It's just a project of mine for the olives out there. And speaking of that, I also got the new Clé de Peau. Okay, this is, oh my God, what is it called? Coco Dahlia. And I saw the swatches online, but I saw the swatches on like Trend Mood and I was like, they look really different from each other. I'm really hoping, you know, that it's as kind of like brown as I think it's going to be. And it looks really promising and the formula does too, and it doesn't smell like anything. This is my first Clé de Peau product ever and it was like $70. I have another Nars because I also got Morocco. It would have to be a very specific look if this is where we land today, but I'm gonna swatch all of these for you 1000%. And then I bought 4 of the new Westman Atelier lip balms, the Hydro Balm tinted lipstick. I got Bob Soda, Cafe Creme, and Onyx. I am cracking up, I'm sorry, about the name being Bob. They're probably talking about like a haircut or something like that, but like someone pointed out in the comments about one of the Laka lipsticks that I bought. They were like, you know, these all have kind of descriptive names, and then one of them was just named Jeff. We're like, who's Jeff? Who's Bob? So anyway, I'm gonna be swatching all of these. Spoiler alert, they're gorgeous. Yesterday was Rebecca's birthday and she's all the way in Washington, and I had 2 of them delivered to her door because I was like, you're gonna love these. You're gonna love them. Oh, that, and then I've also got Cool Fee lip liners. Oh, and you know what? They won, okay? Byredo won. They argued with me long enough that I just ended up keeping the stupid Vesuvio palette. Here we are. I don't know. Like, we'll put it on my eyes today. This sounds like this look is going to be unhinged at best. Like it's gonna be pretty chaotic. So with this very limited palette I have here, let's go ahead and jump in, y'all. I'm gonna try the color correctors before we put on foundation because some of y'all might just be wearing them alone. So we have here Adore. Look at this little applicator. There we go. Ooh. Yeah, I canceled my YouTube premium because of Scott Galloway. And now Rosemary Swift is like every other ad where she's just like smearing the stuff all over her face and talking about Victoria's Secret models. And I'm just like, sure, Rosemary. Okay, so this is the lighter one, which was called Adore. And this is the next lightest one called Cherish. It's a bit of a leap. It's a bit of a leap, and Adore is even still a little bit, I think, a little bit dark. Like we could have gone for something that was more illuminating for fairer skin tones, especially because RMS actually has fantastic fair skin tones in like their foundations. Like they go all the way to, you know, 000 or something like that. So that is surprising to me. I think that that's going to be too kind of like peach and too saturated for a lot of people, just like too high pigment, but I think it'll be okay on me. Okay with me. So let's actually, I got re-upped on this as well. This is the Re-Evolve Radiance Locking Primer. You know, they sent gifting and they were like, you know, you can have X amount of things. And I was like, man, I love that freaking primer. It's so good. So I'm gonna do a little bit of that. Did my skincare a little bit ago. Yeah, this is all, I mean, if you're unfamiliar with my, my legacy, this smells so nice. With my legacy with RMS, it's like, you know, I did a whole clean beauty year just to see if there was anything to it in 2019. Clean routine 2019. And RMS has really, for lack of a better word, evolved since then. Oh, I just love how it goes hydrated and also kind of tacky. It's really nice. They went RMS 2.0, you know, they kind of said like, hey, Rosemary, like this is great. And you have a lot of really devoted customers. We'll keep some of your favorite products around, but also we're gonna like put some stuff out that performs and has better shade ranges and is just like more current feeling and in larger packages. And I just feel like it was such a huge step in the right direction. So anyway, let's go in with Adore here. I'm gonna go straight in and just see, because I mean, the ball. This actually is a very functional delivery system, I guess. So I'm gonna start kind of everywhere. I don't know who forgot to give the memo to my face, but the period's over, Kackie. Like, we can stop breaking out. I don't really know what is going on. I kind of do like an active once a week because my skin will get perioral dermatitis really fast. And this is not perioral dermatitis. This is a zit. And then this is, all the people out there in their 30s will, I mean, probably it's not an exclusive thing to your 30s. In my 30s, I started having this one whisker that started growing right there. And every time it emerges, it just absolutely gives me hell coming and going. I mean, it just does this. It like grows out. I try and pull it, and then it goes, hell no, Kackie. Hell no, you're not gonna just pull me out. No, no, no. I'm going to be an open wound for like a week. What did I do with my damp sponge? There are just not that many things in this room. This is a Singe Beauty FO2. Okay. Okay, okay, so when it spreads out, it is quite illuminating. It is not quite as dark. That's nice. I mean, I was always, yeah, look at that. It lightens up a lot when you blend it. Fascinating. Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, it's almost too light. Like here, I'm almost getting Zoobly Zoo face. Fascinating, huh? Okay, that surprises me. It is a little bit pink, you know, a little pink, like saturated. It's still light, but I still feel like it's a little saturated, but it does work on me. But that also, I don't think that the other shade would like be better on me than this, but that's nice. It is nice. There are days where I love to wear a color corrector like this that's illuminating in lieu of something else. You know, if like my skin's not breaking out or anything, it just makes you look awake. I don't understand. I truly don't understand how they make something that's like this that works for so many skin tones. And I think that like Isabelle was onto something when she did that, but she just didn't make the shade range big enough, even for something that's as adaptable as a color corrector. She was like, this is a concealer. And it's like, not really, Isabelle. Like you were like, you could have doubled that shade range or more. Okay, we're gonna just do Lisa Eldridge because I don't know what the coverage level is going to be on this Ilia. And so I want to give it a chance to show us in contrast how much coverage it does or does not have. So we'll go for something that's like, you know, low to medium coverage here. And I trust it. I know what it does. I wear this in T2. I wish I had my sponge. That's fine. I've got my BK 105 here. Do we feel like the color corrector made a difference? Do we? I'm quite reflective. I'm gonna turn that down a little bit now. And let's swatch these Ilia concealers because I got the shades Chiffon, Satin, and Chambray. I'm remembering now. I remember picking these up because I wanna say that, yeah, they were just the ones that looked the most like what would work for me, but they're not necessarily next to each other on the shade range. It's a pretty big shade range if memory serves. So I got 3W, 3 warm, 5N, 5 neutral, and 8N. We will see. We'll start with 8 for whatever reason. Yes, 8 is 8N, you know, so it's neutral. And I do think that that is quite neutral. That's a really nice neutral, but it's obviously too dark, you know. It's still though a nice neutral. And it's like when they give me the opportunity to pick out more than one shade, I'm gonna try and max that out. I'm gonna try and get as many as I can just to show y'all, even if I don't end up being able to use all of them. Then we have 5N, which is Satin. That looks really good. That looks really, really good for me. And I am neutral, that is neutral. That's a phenomenal neutral. That's a great shade. I have such like visceral, like kind of like physical reactions to color. Like when a color really works, like I sent those lipsticks to Rebecca yesterday for her birthday and she sent me like photos of her wearing them and they just sung on her skin tone so much. I was like, I have goosebumps. Like even yesterday, this is 3W Chambray. Ooh, that is a nice warm. That's 3W, that's nice. All of those are nice, but look how desaturated that neutral is. It just, yeah, it like calms me. It calms me when they really dial the undertones in so well. But regardless, like we were driving to dinner last night, we really we rewarded ourselves. We took ourselves to like our favorite restaurant and like had a couple of martinis and stuff because like it had been such like a long weekend of work. It was like, you know, daylight savings and the sun was out and setting on our way there. It was 7 o'clock and it was just like pink ribbon skies never forget. Yeah, it was lovely and I just couldn't, I was like beaming. I loved it so much. I was just like, ah, spring, ah, I'm like, ugh, just pumped. So anyway, I kind of feel like 3W might be the way to go. Let's just do one on one side and one on the other for science. This is 3W. Okay, that's quite yellow. Quite yellow. But on a concealer, you can kind of fudge it, right? Okay, it seems to be a touch matte. Not matte, but it's not dewy. Like it's drying down on its own. And then we will go with 5N on the other eye and see what we get. Boop. Oh God, that's a soothing neutral. Oh yeah, no, 5N's gonna be great. I think 5N's the one actually. Listen, I can't speak to the formula, but that color match is outstanding. Like, look at that lift that it gave that eye. Again, it's like I don't love doing a first impression, but I figured y'all would like, I hope, bear with me for one video. Yeah, I'm gonna put a little bit of that just in this area where I feel like I could use a little more lift. It's really nice. I mean, Ilia's old concealer was really nice. It didn't have a ton of coverage, but it was really good. It layers beautifully, doesn't it? We'll just keep going. Let's see if it'll cover some gnarly zits. Like, will not die. They won't die. Big ribbon skies. I tried so hard. Look at that. Look at that. I mean, you can still see there's a pimple there. Okay. It's like very raised, but the color covered so beautifully. We are batting 1,000 right now on an industry level of concealers. These brands are being like, not only are we going to come out with all of them at once, but the formulas are going to be different from each other, which is cool. Like this isn't as heavy as the Charlotte Tilbury, but it does provide almost as much coverage in my opinion. And I like how easily it builds. It builds really well, but it's not as like creamy as the Patrick Ta, the new Patrick Ta, but the new Chanel is like the most featherweight of all of them. It's a very like sophisticated feeling formula. But man, the natural light, you can really see, you know, we're not talking about perfection here. You know, you can't really be perfection under these circumstances, but it's really nice looking. It is. Let's powder just a little bit. We don't have much for the cheeks. Merit did send me a couple of colors of their blush. Like I'm always just trying to collect them all. So I got Persimmon, which I don't think I had before, and I got Fox. And honestly, Persimmon might be the direction to go in if we want to end up with Morocco on my lips, which I might. By the way, I do feel a little bit like, you know, church lady today. I got some gifting from Tuckernuck and I was just like, I mean, am I really this waspy little princess, you know? But they have a lot of brands on there that I really like. This is like the Tuckernuck like house brand though. And they sent me another like full outfit that's like all white. Oh my God, y'all. I put that stuff on and I was like, I hope everyone's ready for me to enter my waspy era because this is what I was meant to wear. So beautiful. I just feel so fancy and it's also comfortable. I have a really long torso and this actually is long enough. Like it peplums a little bit. I mean, not like a detached peplum, but it kind of like does that on the hips, but it's like at the right spot for me, which never happens. Never freaking happens. It's always like way above my natural waist and I'm like, well, this is kind of goofy. So yeah, I love that. It's so funny getting all like fancy and stuff when the house is, I mean, we're literally like, we've just been like elbows deep in packing and stuff for the last 2 days. All right, let me zoom through contour and bronzer. We'll come back and do like eyes and then lips and then we'll decide on blush last because we're gonna swatch so many lip colors that I have not decided where we're going yet. And as usual, I'm going in with my Dior contour stick in a 1 light. We're gonna go with the Bronze Goddess bronzer from Estee Lauder. water. It's just a combo that I have gotten really comfortable with, especially because the way that my face ends up when I use these is neutral. So it doesn't pin us in terms of decisions in the rest of my makeup look. I don't feel like we have to then go cool or go warm because of the result of these. So this lighting situation's a little bit different. So it's like, I hope I don't get out of this room and go, oh my God, what have I done? Let's do the freaking Vesuvio palette. If I haven't already told you this story enough, the whole thing was, I was like, I thought these were going to be those beautiful wet look shimmers that are in some of the Byredo palettes, but you'll get like 1 or 2 out of 18 shades. I thought this was gonna be all those, and guess what? It's 0 of them. 0, none, not one. And I was pissed. And so I was like, I wanna return this. But Byredo doesn't just let you say, I'm gonna return this. They go, you need to file a ticket with customer service and tell us what the issue is. And I was like, listen. And I told them how I felt. But the customer service rep was like, well, did you try it? You never know until you try it. Maybe it works really beautifully with your undertones. And I was like, I'm sorry, excuse, are you arguing with me? Like, what do you mean? Yeah, but it worked, you know, because I kept trying and trying, and it doesn't mean that I like it. I just, life has gotten too busy for me to freaking return it. So I'm just like, whatever. You win, Byredo. I still love my Bibliophilia palette the most, but I don't think you can get it anymore. That does not mean go buy this because you can't get Bibliophilia, okay? There are so many usable shades in Bibliophilia and not that many in here, but all that to say, oh my God, I'm really working with like a limited amount of brushes here. I have a Sigma E40, and I mean, honestly, it's like, okay, you know where I'm gonna go. We're gonna go with like the neutral mattes to start with. Oh my God, y'all. Did I tell you that we like have nailed the formulas down for my palette? Oh my God. The matte is intoxicating. I have never cared that much. Like, I can make just about anything work, but it was like once I had my druthers, I was like, huh. You know, actually, I will say, it took me a minute to kind of round the corner on the fact that like the best formula initially that they introduced me with, it had talc in it. And I was like, I'm not anti-talc at all. I understand why talc is feared and that that's not really a legitimate fear anymore, I don't think. And that it really, really increases performance. But I think that there's a risk that it is going to be actually outlawed at some point, and I do not want to have one of those predatory law firms coming after me, and so I don't want to have to reformulate in a hurry at some point just because of that. So I just went ahead and went the talc-free route. So it took a little bit more work, but my God, they're velvety. They have this finish to them that is a little, like the tiniest bit like mineral sheeny. And so they're blurring on the skin. Like my mom, cause like the colors that I have aren't the final colors. And I have one that's kind of pink. My mom picked it up and like swatched it. My mother is, is turning 69 this year. She's like, is this a powder foundation? And I was like, no, it's an eyeshadow. She's like, it should be a powder foundation because it's really, really blurring and like super lightweight. Because I was like, can we make it more velvety? And then they like sent me the next sample and I was like, oh my God. Like I've never felt anything like it. So I am thrilled. I'm thrilled because genuinely, like, I just didn't want to have, this is absolutely no shade, but the indie market is really saturated with saturated shadows or like high pigment shadows that swatch really like, vividly. And it's like a swatch doesn't really translate to like usability, like user friendliness in my book. A lot of times if it is like that and it's that very, very matte, that like hard pressed matte, and it's not particularly like finely milled, I find that it's a lot harder to work with. I would rather have something build slowly because I want everybody to be able to use the palette, Okay, I have, this one's so small, it's gonna take some work, but I have the 13 here from Refer, and I'm gonna pick up this darker color. I do love this little brush, but it's like, this is kind of a big job to be trying to do it with something like this. But still, Refer does make quick work. It really does. Yeah, and now we're faced with the thing that I hate about a really colorful palette, which is like, what are you gonna do? You know what I mean? Chicken. You gotta do blue, it's like, and then it just looks bad. I don't want to put blue on my eyes. It doesn't look good on me. I'm not gonna end up wearing this as the final thing, so let's lip prep. I at least want to show you what this looks like because it's hilarious. I think this is the Nars midnight, what's it called? Midnight swim. I think that it'd be a really great topper for things to cool them off. It's just always fun to be able to manipulate that. And I do like playing to the coolness of my lips, but a full application of this, girl, it is like really blue glitter out close. You start to look a little sick. I mean, I think if I did like a fully cool toned look, it wouldn't be that weird, but up close, the glitter really reflects blue. And it's just it's a little psychedelic for me, for my lips, but I like the effect. I like the effect of anything that's, you know, a sheer like blue on the lips. I just always think it looks really cool. Okay, so in the interest of possibly going Church Lady Coral today, kind of have to make a decision. This thing can smell fear. That gold is outstanding. I'm gonna go for that gold and kind of stay in these. It's too dead. Oh yeah. Yeah, I just am probably never gonna use all these like blues and grays in here. Look at that. Wow. That glows. Life without fake nails is so freeing. I'm still in the process of like growing out all the damage, and so, I mean, it's touch and go, so to speak, but to just be able to have so much control with what I do because I don't have to work around nails, and they were breaking all the time. I just hit a point in my life where like my kid was so full contact that I was just breaking my nails constantly. That's neat. That looks neat. I want to take a little bit of that matte, yeah, with my finger and just pat that matte. I'll work into the crease just a touch. I like this, you know, obviously, but it works really well to kind of unify everything, but I hate having shimmer in the crease. It distorts my illusion I'm trying to build. Maybe we go with something like that underneath. It's a little bit lighter, and then we can use it to kind of blend right here too. Yeah. Nah, I need more. I need the gold too. Yeah, I want the sparkle. There's a little bit of the brown, and then gold. Gold! Yeah. I like that very much. I mean, I guess I'll go with this. It's like the palest kind of warm gold. Yeah, for the inner corner. Whoa. Whoa. That has a lot of visual impact. Well, my gosh darn. That is nuts. But in a good way. Let me put on brows and mascara and eyeliner real quick, and then we will tackle the rest of the color story together. I think it's gonna really affect it when we put the blush on, if we put some of the blush into the eye look. Like, I think it'll really make everything sing. Nars contour this whole time. I also bought that. Brand new. Okay, well, we'll swatch it. I'm sorry I didn't put that on. Jeez, I forgot I even bought that. This is where I'm at right now. I don't know why I went for taupe, but I used the Sarah Creel Everyday Taupe eyeliner and the dark blonde taupe mascara from Urban Decay. I don't know. I was like, let's just see what it does. I mean, it's so high contrast with the gold, but I was like, I don't know, let's see if I can get away with doing like a softer eyeliner and a softer mascara. We'll see, right? Okay, let's swatch all of these lip colors together. How's that? First, let's start with Clé de Peau Coco Dahlia. Y'all, wow. You know what I mean? It's just this beautiful balm formula. It has a really nice amount of like pink and brown and blue in it without being like peachy. I would be very interested to see this on Rebecca because she's so green, but that's a really, really lovely color. I think that's gonna look really great on me. I hate to, you know, just be like that, but like, I think that's gonna look great on me because it's so sheer, and everything I got, I think, is quite sheer. Let's now swatch all of these Westman Atelier lipsticks. I bought 4. I couldn't help myself, and you know what? No regrets. None. There are so many lines that I have decided to buy like the entire line and been like, wow, Nars Afterglow Liquid Blush, what a mistake. What am I going to do with all of these? But in the case of these, I'm just like, I can't decide which one to put on at any given time. So first I have here Cafe Creme. And Cafe Creme is this very, very pale, kind of, it does have a little bit of green in it, which is nice. Kind of green leaning neutral. Very pale though. I really think that Gucci Westman thinks about color the same way that we do here on this channel, you know? Somehow both a balance of like soft desaturated, like true, like rosy beige without orange. Like it's quite lovely. And the packaging is delightful. Oh, it's so pretty. I love this color. Then we have Bob. Our good buddy Bob. This is one of the prettiest colors ever. It's just like a nice neutral brownie pink, you know? It's really, really pretty. Wow, wow, wow. I mean, it's literally like if I wasn't wearing a blue lip balm, it's the color of my lips. It's lovely. And the formula is tingly. Not in like a, obviously I wouldn't be talking about it if it was like a capsaicin burn or something like that. I would be, completely pissed off as a matter of fact, but no, it's like tingly in a plumping way that's really, I don't know, it's kind of like, ooh, you know what I mean? Ooh, it's like having a little bit of like a mint or something. Then we have Soda. Soda is more saturated than Onyx. So like Onyx is gonna look really dark in the bullet, but it's not as dark. I mean, it's less opaque. I don't really know how else to say it, but this is really, really beautiful. It has a lot more impact though than Onyx does. Like, do not fear Onyx because look at that. That's Onyx and it's sheerer than the rest of them. The pigment load is much lower. So that's those. And again, I've been on this kick of trying to, you know, nail down these colors that are gonna look good on a lot of people, because one of the biggest hazards out there is anytime somebody goes for a nude, right? A lot of people, it'll turn like orange or red or like peach, like oddly peach on them. And it's like, I want to be able to direct y'all towards a bunch of stuff that just doesn't have that in it. So I also, out of just pure color theory curiosity, bought this shade Hot Rush. I can't really wear it. It's a little too dark for me, but that is from Nars, and my God, is that pretty? Isn't that so pretty? Then this formula it's pretty nice. I like it. And so far, none of these has a fragrance. None of them that I have applied. Yeah, which I'm so happy about. I have 4 of these from Nars. These are, again, their Afterglow lip balm. And these, they chose some of these for me. So these are going to be a little less beaten path of what I would choose. So here we have Miseducation, which just because it's not for me doesn't mean it's not for you, but it's that candy apple red. It's like a pink red that just does not work on me. It's my worst color. Then they sent Crush, which looks very nuanced, but it is peachier, you know? And these are quite sheer, which I like. I love this like balm formula thing that's very popular right now. But you can see it's got more peach and more orange in it than Cafe Creme does, but a pretty similar pigment load. Then we have Hotline, which I bought. This was the one that really stuck out to me as being appealing when they first previewed the collection. And I will say it's a little bit too berry for me. I was hoping that it would be browner, and it's a little bit too purpley red. It's a little bit too magenta for me, but it is pretty. I like it. It's just not, I don't know. I kind of had a feeling when I looked at this one, I was like, there's a chance it works, there's a chance it doesn't, but it's not quite bricky enough. Then we have Aragon that they sent, and that is like an orangey bricky red, you know? Like that's, I think, what it was going for. So obviously it's just, you know, 4 different skin tones, which is lovely. And then of course, we have Morocco. And when I was looking for this to link it, when I talked about it in my tepid takes, I saw that it existed in their previous lipstick formula. And so I was like, oh, this is a fan favorite. And for a reason, it's just such a pretty color. So I bought it because this is just the most me shade ever, is that desaturated coral. I live. I just love it. And I'm curious if Persimmon is going to really sing with that. Oh boy. Yeah, it sure is. Kind of think that's the direction we have to go, and I'm getting it on my watch. I think that's the direction that we have to go in. Even if it's a total fiasco, I just need to know. So After all that brown and purple swatching, we're going in the direction of burnt peach. So let's go persimmon on the cheeks first, see how far that gets us. Persimmon, persimmon. Oh, we are just so ready for spring. Oh, look at that. And like I said, I'm gonna put a little bit of it in my eye look and hopefully that helps it all come together. This is gonna be a look. Lipstick goes on, I might panic. I might be like, abort, abort. Oh my God, this is not what I had in mind at all. Ooh, we're back in coral blush season. I mean, coral blush is not everybody's thing, but by God, it is one of my things. I love it. Oh yeah, and I mean this, I need to swatch that in a second. The Nars contour, I'm like, I can't believe I had that. And didn't even remember that I bought it. I mean, it just came in the mail like 3 days ago. It's like I already forgot. That is where my brain is at right now. There's so many things dividing my attention. Cool. I am starting to feel like that wasn't enough like depth in my eyeliner. If I have to go back over it, I will. Oh yeah, let's do a little bit of it in my eye look here. Concealer brush. Just yeah, that'll really help pull the concept together because we don't have a matte of this color in that palette. I do wish for all of it. It sounds stupid because it wasn't the point, you know? But I wish that there were a couple more mattes in there. There are 18 shades and there are 2 mattes. But doesn't that make a difference? Just makes it all harmonize. I'll go ahead and swatch these Kulfi lip liners, but I don't think that any of them is gonna work. I could be wrong. I was gonna say I didn't think any of them was going to work with a coral lip, but I could be wrong. There's one called Flames. So we have here Flames, La La La, and Platonic. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think any of those is gonna work with Morocco, but they are really lovely. They are halfway in between to me, like the Merit and a normal one. They're like not as low pigment, but they do have that nice like sheeny blendable thing to them, which I really like. There we go. Morocco. Wow. Yeah, I need to put on more eyeliner. Stunning. I love it. I'm not gonna bore you with it. Let me put on some eyeliner that's darker and a little more mascara and then I'll be back. Okay, I have decided that the cheeks look a little bit hollow. So you're going to now see me demonstrate the way that I fix that. So I have here one of my favorite shades to correct such things. This is Sex Appeal from Nars. I'll go ahead and swatch while I'm swatching this. It's just this beautiful opaque pale peach and you can see how it's going to like fill in and lay the groundwork for that to really pop, the persimmon to pop on my cheeks. While we're at it, let's swatch this contour I forgot to use against the contour that I did use. It's really soft. Here is my Dior contour and the Dior is cooler and just less saturated in general. I should say it's actually just less saturated. It probably has a similar amount of like warmth to it, just has more gray. So we have one of the soft Rare Beauty blush brushes here. I'll apply a little more persimmon on top. It's like I should have done this first, but it's like blend into my concealer underneath my eyes. And this is all, I mean, I have a whole video on doing this. The thumbnail says like hollow versus rich. And do you see how it added the opacity to my cheeks so that it's like halfway in between the color that we're trying to achieve and my skin tone or whatever skin was looking like before that, prior to that. And so you do that and like visually it's going to make it seem like, you know, that persimmon color is more persimmon-y because it's got the hollowness filled back in. Persimmon from Merit. Do you see how that made a difference? It's like I know you don't see as much of my freckles, but that translucence sometimes is just too much on me. I can always draw my freckles back on. Listen, you know, it is, at the end of the day, a vibe. So let's chat final thoughts on all of the things that were new today, because there are a lot. So first of all, I have to say, I'm terribly sorry, but like, I just don't think these are that special. I'm glad they exist for the people who like to use RMS and that, you know, it's got some sunscreen in it, stuff like that. But there are just more elegant, more nourishing versions of this kind of formula. I guess for people who like don't want something dewy around their eyes, the like castor oil based ones are less desirable. You know, I guess the castor oil based ones probably gather for some people, and this probably is less likely to gather. But I find that when it dries down on me, it tends to make things look cakier. You know, it's sort of just like a layer that I didn't need. It just makes it look more makeup-y, and I don't love that. Now the Ilia concealer, obviously this was a first impression, but I'm really first impressed with the shades and the undertones of the shades versus their claims. Like, we have seen so many shade ranges of late where it's just been like a crapshoot. They have claimed one undertone and we get it on and we're like, what are you talking about? It doesn't look like what you described. It also doesn't look like what's online. Like, left hand didn't know what the right hand was doing. Ilia, whoever they've got working for them devising these shade ranges, at least for the 3 that I got, at least for the fair shades, we are talking about pretty darn accurate undertones, and that makes me happy. And I definitely think that like 5N, which if I'm 5N, that speaks pretty highly of a shade range. You know what I mean? That means that like we took a while to get to even basic white girl TM. It's pretty good. In fact, how many shades are there? So the old one was called True Skin, just like the foundation. This one's called Skin Blur. It's $32 and we have 34 shades. And they look good, I have to say, just at a glance. It feels really considered, like they really gave a gosh darn about it, you know? I do. I think that this is a preliminary home run. Very, very promising new release. The Vesuvio palette, it is what it is. I love Byredo formula. I just don't love this color story. I find it kind of aggravating. It's just gonna be one of those things that I'm like, I can't believe I have this, whatever. But like, Bibliophilia remains my favorite. But I do think we ended up with something kind of nice today. The gold is kind of a lot, but it's probably different from what you're used to seeing on me, so that's refreshing for some folks, I guess. I mean, the stars of the show today really were all of these lip products. And I'm pleased to say that with the exception of the Nars Afterglow lip balms that they sent me, so I didn't get to choose them, and the one that ended up on my lips today, Morocco, everything else that we have here is just such a home run in terms of people for whom things tend to go orange on you. It just gives you so many options. Like, these are all great options, and not a single one of them had a fragrance to it. Not a single one. The Westman Atelier has a sensation. That's the only one, but everything else was unscented today, and I'm not anti-scent. I just don't want a flowery floral thing on my lips. I don't want to smell it all day. I don't want to taste it all day, and these don't taste like anything. I love Nars for just like keeping a lot of their stuff unscented, and Westman Atelier too. I appreciate it. I appreciate that the Peau one even isn't scented, so. Should we put the Clé de Peau on real quick? I just want to see what it looks like. This is not going to match the look at all, but still, I just want to see. Girl, what? I said it wasn't going to look good with the look, and it's insanely lovely with the look. It just muted everything down in the best way. I'm glad you got to see both, but like, that's nuts how pretty that is. It took that coral cheek and made it look like it's practically mauve. What did we call this again? Cocoa Dahlia, Chocolate Dahlia, something like that? Oh my God. Clé de Peau. This is not my first $70 lipstick, okay? But that's outstanding. That's outstanding. That's a phenomenal formula. Doesn't taste like anything. It's really glidey. That was everything. That was everything. Oh my gosh, I'm like so much more comfortable with this look now, even though it's still a color on my lips, but my God, look at that color. Oh, whew. Well, on that lovely note, y'all, I hope that you appreciated this. I hope this was fun for y'all. And, you know, as soon as possible, I'll be trying to get into like a new, more consistent filming space, but it's gonna look a little funny for a minute. I don't know how much I'm going to be able to film, but definitely go find me on Substack, because that I will definitely be able to maintain for the time being. So yeah, if y'all liked this, please give the video a thumbs up. If you're new here or you just haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe while you're here. We would love to have you. And I'll put a video up here that I think that you'll enjoy if you liked this one. Thank you all so much for being here, for hanging out with me today. I'm obsessed with this lip color, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye.